It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas classic for the big dreamers of the world like George Bailey, who've run into discouraging times, and haven't we all at various points in our lives. The movie is filled with laughter and tears, but it's also got a few goofs and one blooper that Frank Capra paid $10 for because he liked it so much. In this video, we explore goofs that might be better described as strange anomalies. Who knows, maybe the heavenly interference by Clarence was playing havoc with the space-time continuum. Well, let's have some fun with it and take a look. Plus, explore some super cool and very interesting facts along the way about this iconic piece of film history. In this scene, keep your eye on Mr. Gower's cigar.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Gower,
For an old drunk, Mr. Gower seems to be able to move really quickly, at least when it comes to that cigar. In this scene, George approaches Bert and Ernie.
Hi, Ernie. Hiya, George. Hi, Bert. George.
Now check out the lady with the hat right behind Bert. Here she comes again. Now she's back again and she appears to be following behind Violet. Now she's right behind Violet. She passes Ernie's cab, and then she's gone. And yet again, she walks by Ernie's taxi cab. Is it possible that the lady with the hat was an angel?
There she was, just walking down the street.
I wonder, am I the only one that hears that song when Violet walks by?
You're crazy. That's what I think. You're screwy.
Remember the scene where Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed fall into the swimming pool? Now, if you look closely, the stuntman for Jimmy Stewart seems to have lost his toupee. Carl Switzer, aka Alfalfa from the Little Rascals, who played Freddy, the one that opens the swimming pool up on the gym floor, he can be seen jumping into the pool twice if you look carefully. Kinda neat, huh? It's definitely a time anomaly, I think. When Mary and George are walking down the street after the dance, George says, "If it wasn't me, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town." And she asks him, "Well, why don't you say it?" The next shot, George responds, but his lips aren't moving. I guess he was a little nervous, and who can blame him? But how he got the words out without moving his lips is amazing.
I don't know. Maybe I will say it.
Do you see what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe I will say it.
You see this man? Well, now you see him, and now you don't. Okay, you gotta admit there's something really weird going on here. For some reason, they appear to have used two pictures of the George Lassos the Moon drawing in the same scene. One has no frame around it, and the other one does. In this scene, when George enters the building alone, notice the hat on a coat stand. When George comes back out a couple minutes later, the hat is moved down. Maybe Clarence is already there running around invisibly, moving stuff around. In this scene where George is talking to Violet in his office, somehow George manages to pull the pipe out of his mouth with his hands in his pockets.
Scandal and present. That's what it means.
Notice that George throws the Christmas wreath down, but then, as if by magic, it's right back on his arm.
Believe it or not.
Now here's the story of the $10 blooper. Uncle Billy has been drinking and he wanders off screen. Just at that moment, a technician accidentally knocked over a stack of boxes, making it sound like Uncle Billy just stumbled into something. The technician, expecting to be fired, was surprised when Capra gave him a $10 bonus for adding to the scene. And it's true, this blooper really did fit in perfectly with the scene. Who knows? Maybe Clarence had something to do with it too. You know, that must have been some snowstorm. When George crashes into a tree, you can see there's not a lot of snow actually sticking to the car. But the very next second or two that George stumbles out, the car is covered in snow. Also, from the time the car hits the tree and George gets out, the car is moved.
What's going on around here?
I'm telling you, there's a lot more weird stuff going on in this movie than you really realize. George and Clarence are drying off in the bridge keeper's shack. The postcard hanging by the thermometer keeps appearing and reappearing, and the one under the window keeps moving around. The postcard under the thermometer is gone here. That one's moved from the last shot. Now one is back and the other one's moved. I'm telling you, it's really spooky.
Very funny. Look, little fella, why you go off and haunt somebody else?
In this scene, George and Clarence swap sides as they're thrown out of Nick's.
Now, straighten me out here. Look, I got some bad liquor or something. Listen.
First, the guy in the white shirt is directly behind George, but then it switches and he's directly behind Clarence, as Clarence and George mysteriously change places. And now, some amazing trivia facts from It's a Wonderful Life.
Your word's more dead than alive.
Mr. Potter, the movie's villain, played by Lionel Barrymore, never got punished. Frank Capra stated that he got more letters about this one thing from the movie than anything else. The 1946 production code of the Motion Picture Association of America banned words from the movie that were in the original script that might surprise you. Phrases like, nuts to you, impotent, dang, even the word lousy, and you couldn't call someone a jerk. This according to Happy Days' Tom Bosley on the special features, at least on my copy, of It's a Wonderful Life from the early 2000s. The film's fictitious town, Bedford Falls, was built on the RKO Ranch and was one of the longest sets ever constructed. The main street was 3 city blocks. It had 75 stores and buildings, a bank, post office, and a library. It covered a total of 4 acres. 20 full-grown oak trees were even transplanted to the set. Capra needed something different from what was normally used for snow at the time, which was crunchy cornflakes that made so much noise it interfered with recording dialogue. The special effects department came up with something quieter. They blanketed Bedford Falls with 3,000 tons of shaved ice, 300 tons of gypsum, 300 tons of plaster, and 6,000 gallons of a special mixture of something called foamite, soap, and water, which won an Academy Award for the new movie Snow they made. If you're like me growing up watching this movie, you probably could almost feel the chill of the wintry air. But in reality, they filmed this movie during a record-breaking heat wave in the summer of 1946. Capra even sent everyone home one day because it was too hot to work. Uncle Billy's pet the Raven, played by Jimmy the Raven, was in all of Capra's movies after the film You Can't Take It With You. It's a Wonderful Life was not a huge hit at first, and it didn't become popular until it went into the public domain by a clerical error in 1974, which meant TV stations were overjoyed to play it constantly during the Christmas season for free. The movie eventually became a popular, beloved classic decades after it was first released. However, at some point it seems that the copyright was regained based on the idea that they still owned the copyright on the original script. So, you don't see the movie ran on TV more than a couple of times a year now.
Dear Father in heaven.
I think one of the reasons the movie has endured all these years is that it has so many wonderful lessons that coincide with the Christmas season and beyond.
Show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope.
And if you can't relate to George Bailey's desperation towards the end of the movie, at least once in your life, you probably haven't been around very long. Frank Capra himself said there are so many great values in this picture that weren't even written in the script intentionally. The film encourages prayer as a legitimate source of help in times of great desperation. Whether or not Clarence shows up is another matter, of course, but some have entertained angels unaware. Every man has value. Be a friend to those around you. The importance of family, and the individual's belief in himself.
I can't work around here. Oh, you're following me. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Post your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Don't miss any of the funny cartoons I have on my Frady Cat Cartoons channel. And of course, visit the TV Crazy Man channel here on YouTube often for more great goofs, facts, bloopers, and whatever else I can come up with regarding classic movies and television. Y'all have a great day. Oh, and have a very, very Merry Christmas this year.